So, today I'll be playing the only game that truly terrifies me. The one that makes me shiver before clicking on its icon. And that game is none other than... Metal Unit. Let's just play this game. God, I didn't want to do this. But let's fucking finish this library. It's been a year. I can finally do it. If you don't know this game, or you don't remember it, good, keep it that way. Don't let your mind be destroyed by whatever horrors that this game occupies. But I don't remember how to play it, so this is gonna be a bit rough. Okay, so this is a Halloween special, as I said before. Is it February right now? Details. But okay, so what can we do in this game? I remember that we didn't finish the library first, so that's gonna be our main priority, which this is gonna be really useful because this basically shows which parts of a location we missed. So in the dungeon we missed... Wait, dungeons? You mean the little locations that we can go in the camps? And I didn't finish all of them. Okay, I didn't expect that one. But yeah, you can see that we missed quite a lot. Especially in the last location, because I only played it like twice. So yeah. I guess I'll go through all of those locations, starting from the first one. And I'll try to level up all the weapons that I have in my inventory, because I no longer need to fight some terrifying enemies, or try to beat the boss. So I can easily just rely on all of them, and try to get the legendary. Oh, only 150. We're almost there. That's good. Okay, so we'll do that definitely today. But okay, let me explain more about this game, if you're truly wondering what it even is. So, it's gonna be a brief explanation. I had a bit of a longer one in the past, that I'm not gonna really mention. But overall, everything from the story to the smallest bits of gameplay in this game are just awful. There is literally nothing that in this game that's worth your while if you want to play it. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest. There's so many more games that just do everything that this game does, just in so many ways way better. But right, let's chill out with the explanation of the story or the gameplay, or I'm gonna get a bit angry, like I did last time. So alright, let me keep some of the potions here, because I'm going to move to the first location in the game, so... Oh my god, I cannot just hold, right? I need to press every time? Why? Why are there so many small bits in this game that just need to annoy you, the player? Oh my god. Why can't I hold? What the hell? Or maybe there's some hidden button that allows me to just move between those two menus fast. Doubt it though. Okay, let me just press around the random buttons so I remember what everything does. Wait, X is shoot. What the hell? I would expect the Y would be shooting, but alright. So let me move everything that I didn't wear so far to the wearable slot. Okay, so I almost have every item filled with us... Wait. No, I do have every item that's not mastered yet, so that's good. Do I have any items that I can give to Falcone? Would a pebble work? Technically it's a ranged weapon, so it should. Yeah, Falcone can wear that. It's fine. That seems like a bad weapon. Only 2 attacks? Weird. Oh wait, I don't have a gun with me. I guess this can stay, in case I need actual weapons that don't suck. So okay, this game is a bit strange when it comes to the content that I can make around it. Because if you don't talk during this game, the episode is gonna last like half a minute. Okay, so he shows me everything that I can craft out of these items. That's nice. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. I don't want to think about this element for now. So yeah, this game has a problem where everything in this game is just filler content, to be honest. After watching the game once, nothing that can really occupy your mind. Okay, should I buy anything? Additional item, that does sound pretty nice. Especially for what I'm doing right now, which is just try to get all the items that I don't have. Running speed after killing an enemy, that sounds like a bad idea. Ooh, cooldown. Cooldown definitely. Okay. So, let's go to Forestia. So, I'm just gonna ramble throughout this episode about stuff that I've done when I was gone for the past couple months, because I don't think that there's too much in this game that I can show without it being just the same content that I've already done in the past. Well, maybe sometimes there's just gonna be something interesting. Okay, so around 3 mornings ago, I feel like I'm repeating my last episode right now, last recording at least. So 3 months ago, when I still had the PC, alright, I guess I can do a brief explanation of the last episode. My PC broke, and that's what I'm gonna talk about today. So, 3 months ago, before my PC broke, I was kinda bummed out, because I realized that I often just kinda am not too positive about playing with my Xbox controller, which, if you've seen any of my first episode of my series, then yeah, I've often just was like, Jesus Christ, why does this game not allow me to play just with my Xbox, sorry, not Xbox controller. Oh, that's an enemy. With my PlayStation controller, because I enjoy playing with it way more. So I was kinda wondering what I could do to fix that problem. Because, you know, a lot of games have the Xbox controller as their default, so I would prefer to actually play them. Oh wow, I cannot do this? Wait, you can... How did I finish this puzzle? So no, I don't want to really complain about just one controller that I'm using. I would prefer to just play a game and not really worry about that problem. So I've kinda searched around the new controllers for Xbox, like... I'm not quite sure what they were called, like Xbox S? You know, controllers for the newer Xboxes, which my knowledge about is not quite good. So I've kinda looked around that topic, and when looking at that, I've discovered that there's some Xbox controllers that are not really made by Microsoft, which are the company behind Xbox, but instead there are third-party controllers that are apparently pretty good. So I was interested in getting one of those. I had one video that was recommended to me, which was about a Xbox controller with Hall effect on the sticks, which basically means that it removes the stick drift, which I guess I should explain what those terms even mean. Hall effect is basically a different way of making the sticks in the controller, which means that the problems that normally occupy the controller no longer exist, because just the whole base and the whole structure is different. So it just kinda cannot share the same problems. And stick drift is basically when a stick in the controller cannot go back to the original location that it started in. So when not pressing the stick, your character would naturally in a game move towards right or down, or any other space, you know, those are only the example. So yeah, it's a bit of a problem in the normal controllers, and I guess I should also mention why I wanted to replace my controller in the first place. So I think my controller also had a small stick drift problem, which is pretty annoying, to be honest, and it wasn't only the only problem. The biggest problem I had with the controller wasn't the stick drift, but was the fact that my right bumper was just broken, which often meant in the games that... wait. Okay, in this game it's actually the ultimate button. Normally in games it can be the potion button, like it was in West of Dead, I think, where I had some problems. Or just, you know, any button that can be useful, that I need to press, and it just doesn't work. It can be a bit of a problem, not gonna lie. Especially in some games that actually require some skill. So I wanted that fixed. So I've seen this controller, and I was a bit interested. Because apparently it wasn't like too expensive, and it was really good, at least from the recommendation of the person that was reviewing it. And I was a bit interested in how good can a controller like that be. So I've checked around, looked at reviews from like Reddit and other places, and like any other item that you ever want to buy, reviews were mixed. Some reviews were saying like, oh my god, this controller is the best item on earth. There's nothing better than it. Finally something that can fix the whole, the stick drift. A true marvel in the controller industry that will make some companies finally think about this feature. Meanwhile, others were like, yeah, stick drift? It's still there. This controller sucks dick. It's awful. Why do I deal electric damage? Is it because of this item that I just equipped? I guess I should take it off. So yeah, it's not the best when you want to buy something and everyone just shares different opinions of it. Oh my god, can you... Stop. Is my touching breaking? What was that? Why do I do this electric damage? What causes it? I'm confused. Oh, so it was this thing. God damn it. So yeah, the reviews were mixed. Some were saying that it's the best item since sliced bread. Others were saying that it's worse than the base controller and it doesn't add anything to it, to the thing. So it was a bit stressful to look at something that costs like 200 PLN, which isn't too cheap, and having seen so many different opinions. When buying something new and expensive, you want to generally be like, okay, it will work, don't worry about it. Meanwhile, everyone just different opinions. And to be honest, I'm not really surprised by the fact that there are different opinions. I'm guessing that the manufacturer just is not consistent in their work, let's say. Like sometimes when you buy an item, it's gonna be perfectly made. Meanwhile, other time when you buy it, it can have some flaws, which is for every item, but some manufacturers can be less consistent than others, I would say. Especially when you talk about like big companies, they should generally be consistent in their work because they've done their products like millions of times and they have way more money to just spend on testing. Meanwhile, when a smaller company like making a third-party controller makes something, it can be pretty less consistent because, you know, they just cannot do such a big scale testing. So yeah, when reading those reviews, I was a bit scared, not gonna lie. Spending money on something that's so not consistent is not the best feeling. A couple days passed, I was constantly looking at the reviews and I was just on the fence the whole time. Being like, okay, maybe I should buy it. You know what, no, I shouldn't buy it. No, maybe it's not as good as I think it is. Maybe it's not worth the money. But maybe it is worth, god damn it. It's just so reading all the reviews is just stressful, not gonna lie. Okay, I want to go past, thank you. What do you want? Amazing item for 300 gold. How much do I have? 700. Sure, if it's something that I don't have, I don't mind it. I think I have that already. I don't! Okay, that's good. Okay, that's pretty sick. But anyway, but after a while I decided to buy it. Was it a good decision? I don't know. But I've seen when the controller is supposed to come to me. And it was like 3rd of the next month. And it was still like 10th of the current month I was in. So I was like, what the fuck? How does it take 20 days to come to me? How far is it? And when something is so far to get it, it just basically means if I want to return it, it's basically impossible to do that, isn't it? Because I don't want to wait like 20 days to return an item, which, now that I think about it, is a bit of a foreshadowing when it comes to my PC parts. But right, I've bought the item, I've seen when it's supposed to come, I wasn't too happy about that information. I've waited for it, and I'm not gonna tell if I've received it or not. After that action of buying the controller, I was pretty excited, and then suddenly after like 2 weeks, my PC broke down, which wasn't the greatest feeling. So I was kinda waiting for the controller, but when I don't have a PC, waiting for the controller kinda doesn't matter at all. What the fuck? I've never seen this item. And I didn't know that you can use items to distinguish these things. I thought that you need to go through them. Okay, I guess I should equip this thing. What should I remove though? What is this? Dusk beads. On a successful dodge, throw out 10 dusk beads that explode. Alright, seems useful. Oh, it's a defensive item. I thought it's an offensive one. I guess Falcon, you can wear that. But yeah, after that my PC broke down. which wasn't a greatest feeling. And the week when the PC broke down was one of the worst weeks I had in a while. First, PC broke down. Not great. Second, I've dropped my phone from like a chair height and it just shattered completely on both sides, which made my week go from awful to even worse. There was also something else that happened, but I don't want to mention it. But yeah, that week, absolutely awful. Worst weeks that I can have. So, when you have a bad week, you try to think about anything that can just make you feel better. And I was thinking, I don't have my PC, and I'm gonna receive it this Sunday for sure. The days when I didn't know that it's not gonna come back in like 3 months. So I was kinda wondering what I could do to like maybe better my setup. I'm gonna lose my grip when it comes to using my items, so suddenly changing my items and relearning everything from the start doesn't sound like a bad idea. So I was kinda wondering what I could buy, and first thing that came in mind was... Whoa, what was that? What's going on? What the heck? Is this the 10 beads that just follow me and make me blind? I don't like that. But yeah, first thing I thought about was better mice. Because, well, I just wanted to be better at Hotline Miami, and now better mice seemed like the best idea to do that. So the first thing that came up in my mind when it comes to buying a better mouse was I should look up what the best player of Hotline Miami plays with, which is basically Insomniac, in my opinion. So I kinda looked at the setup, looked at the mouse he was using. I don't remember its name. And the first thing that you naturally look at when looking at new items is the price. And I think the mouse was like $150 or something, and I was like, okay, I'm willing to spend a little bit to be better at Hotline Miami, but not that much, thank you. no, please, I'm willing to spend a little bit less, thank you. Especially because, you know, when buying new items, especially with like a mouse, which my previous mouse I was using for like 10 years, since like 2013. So yeah, basically 10 years, god damn. And I don't often change it, so I don't really see what a new mouse could give me in value that I don't already have. So I looked around some reviews, again on Reddit, what are some good mouses, mice. Okay, I'm dying, not good. My man, chill out. Oh wait, there's a spike here. I should probably go away. Wow, that was close. I am dumb. So I kinda looked around what mice people recommended, and like always there was something that I just couldn't agree as a person. I've looked at some things and people were like, yeah, these mice, cheap, you can buy them easily, just no problem. And then I look at the mouse and it's like, yeah, this mice is only, I don't know, $300. Yeah, it's pretty cheap, to be honest. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, I don't know, man, I don't think that I can agree that something so expensive is cheap, but alright. So it went basically from like, okay, I want to buy a new mouse. Okay, this one is a bit too expensive. Let me look at some other tier list. Yeah, these ones are even worse. What the fuck is going on? So yeah, buying new mouse, not the best experience. Wait, did I just use a potion? God damn it. So yeah, after seeing how cheap the mice were, I've did what any other younger sibling would do in that situation. I wrote to my brother, what the fuck, man? How can something that costs like $200 to $300 be considered cheap? What are these people smoking? Can I have some too? And my brother was like, okay, yeah, mice are kinda shit, but I have one spare that was kinda dumb to buy. So if you want one, I can just give it to you. And after reading that, I was like, I mean, if you insist, I could take it from you. You know, like any other younger sibling would. Oh wait, let me just move it around. So yeah, the action with the mouse was not fun. But after the fact that, okay, I had the information that I basically would get the mice. Nice. I wouldn't have to worry about that. But there's still other things that a mice needs. Like a mouse pad. which I've never used in my life. At least in the 13 years that I was using the other mice. So it's kinda like, okay, are the mouse pads even good? Do they bring any value to what you want? So I was looking around the information about them, and apparently it just means that the floor that you're playing on is just gonna be more consistent, which like valid. Because when you play on like a wooden desk like me, there's a lot of shit that can get in your way, like just it being dirty and stuff like the surface just not being made to be specific for mice, which can lead to some things that make it worse, which you know, valid. So after that I was a bit convinced to buy myself a mousepad, and I've bought basically the same that Insomniac, the player of Hotline Miami, was using. Because before, if I wanted to buy a mouse and a mousepad, I was looking at like, I don't know, $200 combined. Which I'm willing to get better at games, but not for that price, man. So yeah, right now I had a better mouse, or at least presumably. Oh, this is the item that I was talking about in the past. Oh, I love this thing. I want that. Now, right now that I had a better mouse, it basically meant that I could basically spare more money on things on other stuff that I would before not be willing to spend as much on. And the mousepad I was trying to buy was from Insomniac, and it was around $50, I think. Wait, I can equip. First time I'm seeing this feature, what the fuck? Quick equip. I didn't know this is a thing. That's interesting. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna wear these things like that. That's cool. So yeah, so the mousepad I wanted to buy was around like $50, and the world of mousepads is interesting. I've tried to learn some more about them because I wanted to check out if it's worth to buy. What is this? Don't say anything, forget about all sounds. Maybe then you will find real treasure you're looking for. Oh no, I should remove my sound and then come up to this item. Then maybe there's a true item there. Oh, I should do that 100%. Okay, so I tried to learn more about mousepads because I've never used one. So learning more seemed like a appropriate thing. And mousepads are weird, if I have to be honest. There's so many criteria to them that it's just kind of difficult for me to understand. So a mousepad can be either for control or speed, which it basically depends on from what material it is made of, and that material can make anything that's on the mousepad slide or just have more control, I guess. Which, I'll be honest, to me it just sounds like pure voodoo. So I was like, okay, cool, yes, makes sense to me, thank you. So I was looking at the mousepad that Insomniac was using, and it's apparently like 50-50 control and speed, which, what the fuck does that mean? If something can be either control or speed, how does it become both at the same time? Hello? Explain that to me. So yeah, I kinda didn't understand how does that work, but I've decided to buy it. And now that I had a good mouse, spending more money on a mousepad didn't feel too bad. And the first time I've touched this mousepad, it was kinda weird. Like compared to the usual setup of wood that I have, it just kinda feels like sandpaper, which that's basically what it is, to be honest. Sandpaper is a surface that's really good when it comes to having control over how far you can move something. So it makes sense that it would be made of something that feels similar. So after buying, I just kind of moved my hand around it, not having a clue what it does. Is it good? Maybe. Is it bad? I don't know. Does it feel worse than my usual setup? It's a mystery. But after I received the mouse from my brother and I've bought the mousepad, I don't think that I still had the controller, because buying the mousepad and getting the mouse didn't take that long, to be honest. So I was still depressed from not having my PC. I was wondering what I could do, and then I was watching like, I'm not quite sure how the YouTuber was called, but when you want to look up something about mechanical keyboards, you basically always look at Glarses and one other person, which is like Hipio, I think he's called. So I was kind of looking at it, not really thinking about buying a mechanical keyboard, because they're so loud that it's just gonna be basically unusable for my videos if I am gonna play anything. But then Hipio said something interesting that kinda intrigued me, and it was that people had a false perception about mechanical keyboards, that they're always louder than membrane, when in reality it just depends on what the keyboard was made of, on how it sounds. Which after hearing that, I was like, huh, is there really a mechanical keyboard that, what the hell is going on? Is there really a mechanical keyboard that's quieter than a membrane one? That could be useful for me when it comes to just making videos, because I remember editing like Mad Skeletor Bomber and being bummed out by how loud everything was in the background. So after watching some stuff about quiet keyboards, because I had to go into another freaking rabbit hole after looking at mice and a mousepad and controller, to be honest. After looking at a lot of the keyboards, I've kind of noticed that they're really quiet actually. So it kind of got me interested into buying one. Again, mistakes of my past follow me. Okay, I want to do this one. So it was another thing that I was like, damn it, I should probably buy it, shouldn't I? But I was like, okay, I've just spent a lot on my mouse. Okay, I didn't spend a lot of money on my mouse, to be honest, it was free from my brother. But okay, I spent a lot of money on my mousepad, I spent a lot of money on my controller. I don't want to buy anything new. Like, no thank you. I think I've bought already more than I would buy for myself in like a year. So I've just was like, okay. Especially with how expensive mechanical keyboards are. Because in the mouse space, something for like $200 was considered cheap. In mechanical keyboards, something for like $500 is considered cheap. Which, how the fuck is that even possible? For me, something like that is like literally half my monthly pay. Jesus. So that's pretty expensive for me. But apparently for people that enjoy mechanical keyboards, that's basically spare change that you need to pay for to get into the industry, which is kinda insane. So I didn't feel too excited to buy any mechanical keyboards for myself, especially with the price tag. So I was just chilling. Then the Sunday came. I was like, okay, yes, I'm gonna get my keyboard back finally. Let's go. And then the next week started, and I was like, I still don't have my PC. No. I was just so depressed then. Because when you don't know when you're gonna get something, you're always just like, okay, by the end of the week, I'm gonna get this 100%. Easily. There's just no other way. And when that time comes by and you still don't have the item, you just feel like absolute shit. Everything that you've been feeling just kinda comes back to you. You feel way worse than you felt the last week. So I was back to like, okay, it's been a week, let's look at some keyboards, I guess. Maybe this industry isn't as expensive as I thought. Maybe just some parts are expensive. So I was kinda looking around used keyboards that were silent. Because when you want to buy a mechanical keyboard that's quiet, you want to basically look for... What the fuck? You basically want to look for something that uses silent switches, which I guess I can explain a bit more about the mechanical keyboards here. So, mechanical keyboards are interesting when it comes to how they are made, because unlike membrane keyboards, when you buy one, you can often quite modify it, because it's made from different components that all serve a different purpose. So there's like body of the keyboard, which is basically... No, wait. It's called chassis of the keyboard, I think. Which is basically the body, the outer plastic shell or metal one. Which the outer shell often matters when it comes to sound, because if it's hollow, then it basically means that the sound can echo inside of the keyboard. So it's gonna sound louder than usually, which is why often people modify their mechanical keyboards by putting stuff inside the keyboard to just make it less hollow and make it sound differently depending on what's inside of the keyboard. So yeah, that's a little interesting fact. Another part of the mechanical keyboard is the insides of it, basically, which I think it's called a circuit board. I'm not quite sure about that. Because that's basically the middleman between your keyboard and your computer that translates the keys that you press into what the PC sees. And the circuit board can be way more interesting than you'd expect, because there are two different types. One is called a hot swap, which basically allows you to freely change switches, and the other version basically requires you to solder the switches that you want to use to the keyboard, which doesn't sound fun. Hot metal near my hands, no thank you, especially when you don't have a soldering iron. So basically you need to buy that, only for you to spend like hours soldering everything, which I have a lot of free time. I still don't want to do that, thank you. So hot swappable was more reasonable. Wait, I have this already, okay. So hot swappable became more reasonable. And there's also the third component, which are of course the switches. And the switches can be made in very different ways, which can make them sound either loud, quiet, and, you know, different ways of sounding. And often when it comes to making a switch sound quieter, it basically means that... Wait, what is this? Light sword. A plasma sword made by a scientist using alien technology. It sure is light. I want to buy that. I would need this. I think this is doable. And when it comes to quiet switches for a keyboard, to make them sound quieter, they put a rubber part inside of it that basically dampens the impact between your starting point of a switch to the end point, which, you know, when you press it. So yeah, there's a lot of shit when it comes to keyboards, and it's a lot of stuff to learn. It's a rabbit hole where if you want to learn more, you're just gonna be took by it like some kind of abyss, to be honest. And it took me literally like a week to understand any parts of these keyboards and try to learn what would I even want to buy. But after that painful week, I've started to look at stuff that I can actually use, which is the exciting part. And the most important part of buying these was, of course, it needs to be cheap. I don't want to spend too much, and silent keyboards are pretty rare in the industry. Because, you know, if you want to use a mechanical keyboard, your basic understanding of it is gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be loud as fuck. I'm kinda expecting that, so I don't want it to be too quiet. So it makes sense that when manufacturers are gonna be making these keyboards, that yeah, by default they're gonna be loud as fuck, boy, and they're not gonna be trying to make them sound quieter. So anything that you want to buy that's gonna be more quiet is gonna be a rarity that's of course gonna be at a premium price. But luckily, I live in Poland, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing because everything for me is gonna be expensive as fuck compared to, like, if I lived somewhere else. But on the other side, the manufacturers where I live are gonna try to make everything cheaper, because of course if they're gonna make everything expensive, then no one here is gonna be able to buy them. 100 gold for 1 CC, that doesn't sound like a good trade. At least I don't think so. Although I have 900, I guess I can use 9 CC. Oh wait, that's... no. So you know, a lot of the manufacturers here are gonna try to make everything a bit cheaper, because of course, if you make everything expensive as fuck, then no one in this country is gonna be able to buy them. But before looking at actual manufacturers and what I wanted to buy, I kinda looked around what used items were, and there was a lot of stuff that kinda got me interested. Wow, isn't this only a 20% chance? How did this happen twice in a row? They want to assist first gem. Thank you. Because when it comes to keyboards, I don't think that them being used matters a lot. And if it's used, it basically means that... Wait, what? Was that not the thing? Wait. What the fuck is this? Don't ask where I got the... Who are you? What? I've never seen this before. Wait, I've never seen that. NPC. Who is that? Do they just...
Broken.